send us your messages and comments via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which has changed, though. And the line to send your messages to today is 0538 037353. 0538 037353. Now, when the time is ripe and I pick signals from the production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. Let's go for this quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I come.
Shut up!
Mame, Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Raw 95.
Fill up with Super XP Raw 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mommy.
Choose Super XP Raw 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Raw 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good energy. Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. We're now going to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week by way of local stories. Please enjoy.
Ghana State Security Apparatus at the port of Tema has once again tested its emergency response systems and interoperability in the recently organized exercise, Kwemo Ojogba, to wit, be careful. This activity forms part of the port's fulfillment of the ISPS code, which requires member ports to partake in quarterly drills and annual exercises to maintain alertness and combat readiness. This simulation exercise that took place last Friday saw the combined forces of security personnel, including GPHA Security, Ghana Navy, Marine Police, Immigration, among others, kill 4 volatile scenarios at relative efficiency. What is more impressive is the fact that only a few top officials of these institutions knew about the simulation, demonstrating the preparedness levels of officers at various posts. The exercise featured 4 scenarios: an uprising at the transit terminal, demonstrators breaching the Eastern Gate, pirates infiltrating through the fishing area, and the army deactivating an explosive at the central gate. The incident commander and harbour master at the port of Tema, Captain Tavia, rated the performance of the combined forces at 85%.
It was superb. Look at EOD squad, how they responded. Ghana Navy, how they responded. And then within our medical team, and then fire and safety, how they responded to the calls. I mean, it was on course. And then even the patrolling.
The Tema Port Security Manager, Colonel Benjamin Boama, was particularly impressed with the interoperability between his outfit and the other security agencies.
The cooperation has been very good. It's kind of exceeded my expectation, if I had to be very honest. Right from the word go, and all the even pre-coordinating conferences that we had, there were full participation. And therefore, by the time we came in, we are all prepared, knew what is expected of us. And then when we started the cooperation, the enthusiasm was there. And that's what we saw. The exercise ended very well, and it was very successful.
So that was an exercise detailing how prepared the port security and its collaborators are in case there's an emergency or there's an incident in the port. And you can see it right there. It was in real time, and the pictures and videos and comments from all those that participated, the security couples, says it all. Now we're going for some international port and shipping news.
Hong Kong-based container shipping company Orient Overseas Container Line has revealed that 2 of its latest 24,188 TEU container ships have started operation. The box ships OOCL Finland and OOCL Sweden recently began their maiden voyage. With the introduction of these 2 new vessels, OOCL has started delivery of 10 eco-friendly mega container ships of the same model, marking an important milestone in the company's fleet upgrade. The naming ceremony for the 8th vessel in this class, OOCL Abu Dhabi, was held in February 2024. In January this year, OOCL introduced its 7th 24,000 plus TEU new build, OOCL Valencia.
According to a new report from the National Retail Federation, major container ports in the US are expected to see the highest inbound cargo volume in nearly 2 years this summer, driven by increased consumer spending and retailers stocking up to meet demand. Despite challenges in the supply chain, such as overseas port congestions and high shipping costs, the report predicts that import levels will remain elevated for the next several months. The Global Ports Tracker report shows that U.S. ports handled 2.02 million 20-foot equivalent units in April, marking a 4.6% increase from March and a 13.2% increase year-over-year. The report's projections for May suggest that volume rose to 2.09 million TEUs, an 8.3% increase year-over-year, marking the highest level since August 2022.
All right, so those were some international port and shipping news. We are now going for the word or phrase of the day. And remember, the word or phrase of the day has been fashioned to bring you up to speed with the terminologies and jargons we use in the shipping industry. Today's word is equipment interchange receipt. equipment interchange receipt.
Equipment interchange receipt. Equipment interchange receipt refers to a document used to receive or deliver a full or empty container or chassis at any terminal or inland container pool or depot.
All right, so welcome back. We're zooming into our discussion proper tonight, and last week we did inform you that we're going to seek permission from our bosses. If they obliged us or if they approved, we would come back with part 2 of our discussion for last week. We couldn't exhaust the topic that we brought to you last week, and that has to do with duty calculation at the ports. That's on both general goods and then used vehicles. Last week we tackled a bit of general goods, and our guest, Mr. Smile Agwemenu, who is the Chief Revenue Officer the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, and who's with the Policy and Programs Unit, walked us through, what goes into the calculation of the duties. This morning or tonight, I beg your pardon, we would, have a small recap of that, and then when we return, we'll zoom into our discussion proper and then bring you the calculations. Today, we're going to learn. So grab your pens and papers and notebooks, and then ensure that you learn how to calculate your duties, because it's going to project it here and teach us how to do that. And this also comes on the heels of one of the messages we received from one of our viewers last week, Samuel, who's in Kaswa, who said, please, I want to suggest that there be a display of how to do the calculation, not only by mouth. It will help some of us to appreciate the calculation well. You went further to say that my import company just sent me my bills, that shipping fee, without me knowing if that's what I need to pay, because I don't know how to calculate shipping fee. And so tonight you have the opportunity of learning how to be able to do that by yourself, and you will also be able to can make projections. If you are an importer out there, or if you are Ghanaian out there in the diaspora and want to ship your consignments to Ghana, you can have the opportunity of assessing how much, or having a fair idea of how much you're going to be paying on a particular general good, or on a particular used vehicle that you are about to ship into the country. And so tonight, we thank our bosses for obliging us and approving that we have the part 2. And we thank the bosses at GRA as well for also allowing Mr. Agwemenu to feature this evening once again. Thank you very much indeed, and welcome, Chief. Awesome. We are glad to have you tonight. And tonight, we are going to pass off more as a lecturer than a guest who will be on the seat and enjoy the question and answer sessions. But if you can walk us through what we did last week. The microphone, I'm told, is off. If you can switch it on. If you can walk us through what we did last week, particularly with respect to some of the factors or considerations that goes into the calculation of duties first, before we come in with the used vehicle duty calculations.
Once again, thank you for having me, and I bring you warm greetings from management of GRA. And since today is Father's Day, I use the opportunity to wish you and your cherished viewers, especially the fathers out there,
absolutely
happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, sir.
Yes. Last week we started a discussion having to do with what it takes for you to arrive at a duty to pay.
Yes.
And we did mention that it starts by you making a declaration where there's a need for you to provide certain support documents, one having to do with the trade-related documents and transport-related documents. You are supposed to properly describe the item and then provide the appropriate value. Do proper classification, and then, of course, that the value must be in a convertible currency. Because, of course, it's an international trade, and you are buying the items from outside the country. It shouldn't be in the Ghana cedi. Where it is not in the Ghana cedi, it must be in a currency that Bank of Ghana, by law, is able to convert into Ghana cedi.
That's what you call the convertible currency.
The convertible currency.
The most popular one is the dollar.
Yes, the most popular one is the dollar. Yes. So once you have converted into Ghana cedi, then you apply the rate of duty and taxes. We did mention that the rate of duty and taxes is actually associated with the HS code. So once you have selected the appropriate HS code for the commodity, the duty that is applicable would be applied.
Right.
Which we have the import duty because we are within ECOWAS and have adopted the ECOWAS Common External Tariff. We have the import duty of 5 tax bands at 0%, 5%, 10%, 20%, or 35%.
Right.
Then we also have some transnational fees and levies, which is the ECOWAS levy, and then we have the African Union import levy.
Right.
Then we also have some domestic taxes, which are the import VAT,
right,
the import national health insurance levy, GET fund levy. We have the COVID-19 health recovery levy,
right,
and then we have some other related fees as well. So for example, if you are bringing an item that attracts an import excise, then it's an excisable item.
Right.
And you also be paying, in addition to all these ones, an excise duty. For example, of course, today is Father's Day, most likely. You see fathers going for some small liquor.
Right.
If you are bringing in vodka or any of those ones, will attract an import excise.
Right.
If you bring like cigarettes, would attract import excise. So these other commodities attract import excise as well.
Right.
Which some of them are specific, which is an amount tagged to the attributes of the item. So it could be maybe 50 cedis per kilogram of an item,
right,
or it is ad valorem and it is a percentage or proportion of the value of the item. And we also had you walk through the procedure for arriving at the value.
Right.
We did mention that for the case of used motor vehicles, that is contained in Section 60 of the Customs Act 2015 Act 891, which tells you the procedure you have to go through in arriving at the value for the calculation of ad valorem tax on used motor vehicles. Whereas if it is general goods, then you are going to Section 67 or 68 of the same Act to arrive at the customs value for the calculation of ad valorem tax calculation. So this, in summary, was what we had discussed last week.
Yes. Okay. So let's zoom into the used vehicle duty calculation. Walk us through what goes into that before we move you to the screen to tell our viewers how they're going to be able to calculate the duties themselves if they so wish.
Okay. So for the case of used motor vehicles,
yes,
I did mention that Section 60 of the Customs Act 2015 Act 891 makes a provision for determining the customs value for ad valorem tax on used motor vehicles. Again, the classification is general classification by the use of the WCO,
World Customs
Organization, Harmonized Commodity Description and Coding System, which, if you look at Section 2 of our Act, 1 of our Act tells you that we are supposed to actually apply our taxes consistent on the classification code adopted from the WCO.
Right.
So these are the two things that we'll be combining. 1, classifying the motor vehicle.
Right.
And then 2, determining the customs value of the motor vehicle. In classifying the motor vehicle, just as any other commodity that we are classifying, same applies.
Right.
More especially, you're likely to go under section, you're likely to go under heading 87, chapter 87 of the HS code.
Right.
That is where you see the various types of vehicles or motor vehicles for classification.
Right.
Including saloon cars that we know, sport utility vehicles,
SUVs,
yes, the trucks, the dozers, all those type of vehicles are all contained under Chapter 87.
Right.
If you look at 8703 heading 8703, is where you see classified the saloon, the ones we know as saloon vehicles. Yes. The passenger vehicles, the one that carries people of more than 10 or so, see them under 8702.
Yeah.
So this is how chronologically the vehicles have been classified.
Okay.
Again, there's mindful of the type of the engine cubic capacity.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Determination
on how
the rate
much
of duty.
So so just before you continue, is it true that the higher the engine capacity, the higher the duty you pay?
Yes, that is very true. So those that are falling under the lower cubic capacity band attract the lowest rate of import duty.
Okay.
Whereas those that, so for example, if you take, again, we have variation in whether it is petrol, or it is diesel, or it is electric.
Right.
Now, if it is, let's take the case of petrol. So there are ranges where it is up to 1,000 engine cubic capacity attracts a rate of import duty as 5%. So then it graduates. Then the higher, if it is more than 2,500, then it gives you a rate of, I think, 3,000 or so. I can check for the specifics. Then it gives you that of 20%. That is for petrol.
Right.
There is a small variation when it comes to it being diesel.
Right.
Or when it is electric, then it goes for 20%. So these are what we consider.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've left out LPG. There are vehicles that use this LPG in this country. How come that's not captured?
So they don't. When you say that is liquefied petroleum gas.
Yes.
Of course, that is also another. It is captured when it is not petrol or it is not diesel. So we watch what we call the residual classification codes, where it is something not specifically mentioned under a particular heading or its subheading. Then there is provision made to capture all of them.
Yeah.
So these codes are specifically given when these commodities are actually of a particular trade volume within the tariff cycle. Now the HS cycle, now it is 5 years. Every 5 years, there is a change or there's an amendment to the HS. So within that HS cycle, they will look at the global trade volumes in specific commodities. That has determination on whether some specific HS code has to be taken away, or introduction of new ones, based on the trade volumes.
Okay.
So where it is not specifically mentioned or given a specific tariff line, you find it under the residual tariff line.
Because I asked this question because in 2018 I brought in a Hyundai Grandeur, and it's LPG, strictly LPG, no petrol, no diesel. Strictly LPG, and it was captured as petrol, but I paid the duties and then I got out. That's why.
That's fine. Again, that could be a case of, unless we are exposed to the actual details of the vehicle. I wouldn't be able to judge whether the classification was accurate or not. But there is a possibility of wrong classification. If you don't have full complement of the information so required for a proper classification. Again, some of the vehicles, you can get some of these details from the vehicle chassis number, if you decode it. So when you decode it, probably you may be thinking it is this, or there may be a modification which has now changed the original nature of the way it came from the factory. Then probably it is what it is as you are saying. There could be several reasons for which this could be. But when we have the details, then we can determine. So every commodity which is tradable internationally has a place to be classified.
Okay. All right. So in this case, if I bring my documents and you check, and you go into the system, you realize that it's LPG, I'm thinking that there probably will be some element of refund to me, because I'm sure that LPG, the duty is quite lower than if it were a petrol engine, isn't it?
Okay, so I mentioned if you go to the residual, it's actually having the higher rate.
Okay.
So where it is not specifically mentioned and it is going under the residual, most likely you may be paying what you've paid or pay more.
Okay. Or pay more.
Yes, most likely. So that is when we mention the post clearance audit.
Absolutely, which spans up to 6 years. All right, so before you go to the screen, let me find out from you, there are special features in some of the vehicles. For instance, the saloon car, you have or even the SUVs, you have the LE, you have the CE, and all the last limited edition and all those things. Do they also play a role in determining how much the fuel is supposed to pay as duty?
Yes, so they all go to affect the customs value.
Right.
So remember that whereas we have the vehicle in the standard form, of course, it will go for the lowest value from the manufacturer itself.
Right.
So if you do a basic search on the internet, looking for the manufacturers, we have what we call the manufacturer's suggested retail price.
Right.
The price at which they are suggesting to those who are buying from them and then displaying at the showroom for where people go and buy.
Yes.
It suggests the values. If you go, you will definitely be seeing variations in the values with regards to the trim or the details or the special specs of the vehicle.
Yeah.
So it is, if it is a limited edition, you should expect that it will be more expensive compared with if it is a standard edition.
Right.
Just as any other commodity, the higher features of comfort you have, the more expensive it is.
Yeah.
So it does affect the value of the vehicle for customs duty.
So if you want to enjoy luxury, you should be ready to pay more for duty.
Yeah,
all right, so
like
can we get the screen on now so that Mr. Gwemenu can walk there and walk us through what you need to do if you are somebody that's watching us at home? Okay, so I think you can move there and then we'll start so that you'll be able to see, how you can access, the sites in which you can calculate your duties. If it is a used vehicle or if it is general goods, how you're going to go about it. I know one of the addresses will be external.unipass.gov.gh or something, and then you can also, he mentioned, go straight to the GRA website and then you follow the prompts and then you'll be able to find out. So maybe you can zoom in, Mr. Gwemenu, and then let's see, once we have the full display, he will be able to walk us through from start to finish and how you're going to be able to go onto the net. Are we having, what do we call it, delayed response from the internet or something? Yes, please, yes, sure.
In this case, I will take it as someone who probably does not have any knowledge at all, an importer,
right,
who wants to bring in an item. What do you do?
Right.
Of course, there's an authority, which is the Ghana Revenue Authority, that is responsible for tax collection in Ghana. So what I will do is just basically to search for the site of GRA.
Yes.
If GRA has a site. So just as you do a normal search, I'll go and I'll type GRA or Ghana Revenue Authority.
Yes.
So I'm just saying GRA, sorry. So let me say GRA. GRA site.
GRA site, okay.
I'm just going to GRA site.
Okay.
Just any person would do.
Yeah.
You don't need to have too much knowledge in this to acquire this.
Right.
So here I have return to the display, Ghana Revenue Authority, gra.gov.gh.
Right.
So I just click on it. And it takes me to the Ghana Revenue Authority site.
Yes.
This site has so much information just by the site itself, not for us to go to the task calculation aspect.
Yes.
It displays a pop-up where we think you have to, we want to communicate something to you. Revised practice note, lottery tax.
Yes.
If it is something that you go to it. So this is not my focus now. I go.
Sure. Yes.
Then you notice that we have the home page where we are now.
Yeah.
We have the one for domestic tax. If you want to have information with regards to domestic tax, you go there. But if you want to have information with regards to customs, then you go there as well.
Right.
But I'm just navigating this page and see on the home page, what do we have? Then you will notice that at the middle area, you see tax calculators.
Yes.
So that is an interest to me.
Right.
It may be whichever tax that GRA is administering that you want to go to. So you click on tax calculators, and then it takes you again to a new page. You will see the value added tax. That's not what I want. Communications and this, that's not what I want. but I have seen used vehicle duty calculator. That is an interest to me. You say Icons vehicle duty calculator, or I see general goods duty calculator. Again, that could be of interest to me. So for this particular case, let me go to general goods vehicle calculator, and then I see what I have. It takes you to the the page that we use to administer import, or the external window page, which connect all the government agencies and all external stakeholders to the customs division.
Yes.
So that is external.unipassghana.com. If you know this site directly, you can go there. But if you don't know, then you go to all this, you navigate all through that one, then you arrive at this page.
Yes.
So this one gives you the platform to have an idea. Remember, it's a self-declaration.
Yes.
That will mean that the information so required, some of them you have, some you may not have.
Yes.
But the critical ones that you have, the proper description of the item, the value of the item, the weight of item, the currency, this is the convertible currency, the trading currency.
Yes.
You have all these ones. So what you can do is to use this page. It gives you an idea. So I am here, and the trading currency here is not, the NCY is national currency, but my trading currency, which is the foreign currency, FCY, foreign currency, is asking you, once you select, you change the button to FCY, is asking you to select the tradable currency, which is the convertible currency. Bank of Ghana is able to convert any of these ones. Luckily, let me just choose the case for this demo, United States dollar.
Right.
Then it's asking you to provide the net weight, which you know. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'll just go for just minimal values.
Right.
If you're at home and you want to do this by yourself, you probably may having a commercial invoice.
Right.
Look on the invoice and begin to provide the value as it is contained on the invoice. So let me pick a weight of 10. Then I come to the item information. It's asking me to provide details of item. The item number, of course, that is system generated.
Yes.
The HS code, the tariff code I have been mentioning, which gives you the rates of duty and taxes. Then the customs procedure code, the procedure under which you are admitting the cargo.
Right.
Whether you are admitting the cargo or you are entering the cargo into home consumption.
Yes.
That is called home use. Or it is for warehousing, it is for transit, it is for export. These are the procedures. So it's asking you to provide the detailed procedure, that the procedure under which you are entering the item. Then you provide the country of origin of item.
Right.
You provide, very important, the customs value, which is the cost, insurance, and freight value at the basic level. Then you provide the free on board value. That's the FOB. That value is when the cargo has been put on board the vessel that will be taking it from the country of export to Ghana.
Yes.
Then it's asking you to repeat the net weight, and then the package type, and then the quantity. Then the system itself will now proceed to do the computation for you.
Right.
So if you want to do that, you click on add. You can add as many line items as possible, so long as there is the variation in terms of packaging, in terms of item itself from the procedure, whichever one you have to. So item 1 is asking me, it's not asking for the description because that is known to you. You just want to have an idea. So the description is known to you, is on your document. What is critical is the classification code.
Right.
So assuming I'm bringing for today, since it's Father's Day, that maybe some men will go for whiskey. I'll go and type for the description.
And
let me see, whiskey.
Okay.
If you, sorry, where is it?
You don't. You just mentioned whiskey. You don't add the name.
Yeah, I've not added the name.
Okay.
So one of the things again is, if you don't have an idea the classification code of the item, you can just go onto the internet search engine, search for it.
Yes.
Ask the internet
code for
any of these questions, that what is the HS code for whiskey.
Okay.
It gives you, and it points you to a particular one.
Right.
Then open the Ghana Customs one, and then you can go directly to the specific one.
Yeah.
So if you do not know, so I'll do a demo. I'll just come here and I'll say HS code
for whiskey
for whiskey.
Okay.
Then I search.
Okay.
So here you are, it's giving you 220830.
Yeah, sure.
So you can now go to the Ghana 220830 and see if that is there.
Yes.
So I go back to where we were.
The net looks a bit okay. It's come here.
Sorry. At HS code. And this is available to everybody, regardless which part of the world you are in.
All you require is your internet.
Is an internet. And then you have access to the GRA website. It walks you down to this one.
Right.
So here is, I got my HS code to be 2208.30. Let me search. So here I have it. I have whiskies.
Yes, okay.
And then you see the unit of quantity is in liters. And then you see the import duty, 20%,
right,
attracting an import value added tax of 15%. Then the related taxes follow.
Right.
So you just click on it, and then you go again for the procedure code. I'm admitting this into home consumption. These ones, that sometimes you need professionals to guide you in this. So 40D01. This is the procedure code for importing goods into home consumption for which you are paying full duty.
Okay.
So it's asking you of the value just for the case of demonstration.
Yes.
So I'm providing a value of $1,000.
Okay.
That's the customs, the cost, insurance, and freight value.
Yes.
Which is the cost, the insurance, and freight. So let me give the cost.
Why are you not using the CD?
Yes. So I did mention that the invoice before you, that is the invoice that you are trading in.
Yes.
So the invoice is not a CD invoice.
Yes.
So when you are buying
from
goods
the country
from China,
of origin,
when you're buying goods from China,
Right.
most likely it will be in the US dollar.
Yeah.
Most of our invoices coming in, over 80% are actually in the United States dollars. So that is why over here, I did not choose the national currency.
Right.
I chose the foreign currency, and selected the currency code to be the United States one.
Right.
And it is asking me to repeat the weight. For this case, is because it's one item, I'm repeating the same one. Then I come to the unit. It's asking you how is it packed.
Right.
How is it packed? So in this my case, sorry.
So they want you to describe how the goods were packed.
Yes, how the goods, the
What role
packaging
does
of
that
the
play?
goods. I'm looking for, let me just go for a unit, because what I'm, all these ones are international packing units.
Okay.
So you select the one of choice.
Okay.
Pardon me, to just indicate unknown.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes. This is the very basic information the system requires from you.
Right.
Then you see the button here, calculate tax. Then you click on this one. Sorry, it's asking me to select the country.
Yes.
Let me select China. CH.
Okay.
I'm sorry, let me just choose Canada.
Okay.
Then calculate tax.
Okay.
It's asking you that you entered your trading currency as the USD.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue? Yes. And then I click yes.
Right.
So here it's saying supplementary unit number is empty. Supplementary unit number is empty because I selected the HS code that attracts import excise.
Right.
And import excise requires that the specific tax for import excise is in liters.
Right.
So I have to indicate the total
the number of
literage
liters
over
here.
there.
Yeah. Okay. So you can perhaps do 10 liters, 20 liters.
Yes. I'm sorry. You just have to go back. We do a quick one. So set 2208, this 01 can under this, and 100 liters.
Okay. So, Mr. Smile Agweminu is Chief Revenue Officer, Customs Division, Ghana Revenue Authority, with the Policy and Programs Division, and he is here in the studios helping us to appreciate how you can calculate your duties in the comfort of your homes or offices, wherever you are. You just follow these simple steps and tips that he's given us, and then you will be able to have a fair idea as to how much you're supposed to pay for the goods that you intend to bring into Ghana. Remember, right after this one, he would also be doing that. This one is for general goods. When he's done with this one, would also go in for the used vehicle duty calculator, because this one is the general goods duty calculator. That's what he's working on at the moment. And I believe that you are taking notes even as you watch what he's doing tonight. Okay. Right. So we can see some figures here.
Yeah, then it tells you so let me minimize this one.
Yes.
So it tells you the duties and taxes that are applicable on the summary. So what it does is, assuming you have entered multiple items,
right? So
it gives you a summary of when you do the calculation for each of the items, and then the aggregate. So this is a summary of it.
Right.
It gives you the tax amount which is in the national currency. It gives you the last time it gives you if you are enjoying any form of relief. It gives you if there is any form of guarantee, assuming it is not going into home consumption, but it's going into, say, it's going into a bonded warehouse.
Right.
Then guarantee is so required. So it tells you how much you are supposed to provide a form of security.
Right.
So here you have the user defined. These are the taxes. So what we have done is as much as practicable to automate all our taxes and the logic behind them.
Right.
So you see here N tells you that the user, which is you and I, using this facility, you don't have the opportunity to modify the tax rate or anything. That is determined and configured in the system.
Right.
So you can see these are the taxes that are payable when you import whiskey of that particular quantity.
Yes.
You pay import duty. It tells you, this is a summary, so I'll just move away from the summary. So you scroll and go to the details for the item itself.
Yes.
So it tells you the tax base. Don't worry about this one. It tells you the tax base. The tax base is the base at which duty is calculated.
Right.
Then it tells you the rate of tax.
Right.
So the case of import duty, it tells you the base is 14,158.6, which is the CIF. And then the rate of duty is 20%. And when you multiply 20% to this by this number, it gives you the tax amount to be 2,831.72.
Okay.
Then it proceeds to give you the final one, assuming, so you focus more on the A.
Right.
So all of these ones, it tells you, one, the tax type. It tells you whether you are able to modify the tax on yourself or not. The N means you cannot. Then it tells you the base of tax. The tax base, it tells you the rate of duty.
Yes.
Or the rate of tax. And then it tells you the tax amount. So it calculates all these ones for you.
Right.
This is what aggregates to the total tax amount you will see, 16,009.98. Then you come to this place. It gives you all of that one again. Then there may be the case where there are some fees or charges that are required to pay on the declaration,
right,
which is not related to a specific item,
right,
but on the declaration itself.
Yeah.
So for that one, you not see it under any of these items, but you see it as part of the summary of taxes.
Right.
An example would be the shippers, Ghana Shippers Authority fee of 9 CD,
yes,
the network charge, and all those related ones. So basically, this is what you can do, and you have an idea, regardless where you find yourself. You don't have to worry yourself so much. Technology has made it that you don't need a calculator to be punching 20% of this. What is the value? The system has done all those ones for you. You just provide the very basic information, and then you have the tax amount to pay. This is the case for general goods, and new motor vehicle.
Okay. All right. So let's go to quickly to used vehicle duty calculator.
So for the used vehicle, the same motion that we went through, assuming you are a new person, you go to the GRA site, you locate GRA, you click on it, and then it takes you to the Ghana Revenue Authority site. Again, you locate on the home page the duty calculator.
Scroll up a bit, get into the middle.
Probably you have, yes, at the middle of it, you see the tax calculators. Then the one of interest now is the used motor vehicle calculator. Then it takes you again to the external.unipassghana.com, where we do our import-export declaration processing. If you are doing domestic, then you are going to use the domestic computer platform as well.
Yes.
So here is a paid-for platform. It therefore means that for every vehicle that will be requesting a value of, GRA pays for it.
Yes.
Because of that one, we are not able to expose to the public when you can just go in and be searching for anything and will be paying.
Right.
So you yourself, you can do that one. But what we have done for used motor vehicle is to give you access to already cleared vehicles.
Right.
So any vehicle that has been cleared, you have access to it. So you can search and have an idea of how much duty was paid for that vehicle that was admitted, which you are bringing a similar one. So I'll choose for the case the make, model, type. It asks me to select the make. You probably do not know. So you click on the search button and you have all the list of the mix of the motor vehicles. You have 662 of them, quite a number. But my interest would be, let's say, BMW.
Okay.
Then it will ask you to select the model.
Model, yeah.
Again,
X5.
I click. I'm looking for, say that again.
X5.
X5.
Yes.
As a 5 series.
Yes.
So, let me search for X5. I'm sorry.
X5.
X5.
Yes.
So here I have it, X5.
Yes. Okay.
Then it's asking for the year of manufacture because we are supposed to be depreciating by the year of manufacture to when it is arrived in the country.
Right.
So give me a year, 2018.
Yes.
So once again, because this is, you are searching information with regards to an earlier cleared vehicle.
Right.
We must have BMW X5 2018 earlier imported.
Right.
Then it is asking you to determine the assessment period.
Right.
As you know, the assessment period have an effect on the percentage of depreciation.
Right.
And of course, the rate of exchange as well. So let me see if there is any that has been imported for the past 3 months. This is the past 1 day, the past 1 week, the past 1 month, or the past 3 months. And then I can run a search. So we have 3 cases where we have a BMW of X5 series imported.
Yes.
The trim is very important because it gives that difference in value,
right?
The home delivery value. So we have 3 of the cases. In summary, you can see the value that the home delivery value that was determined.
Yes.
59,250 USD.
Dollars, okay.
Origin as the United States. For these 3 we have seen is giving you the tariff code,
right?
Which we call the HS code.
Yes.
It gives you the rate of exchange that prevailed,
yes,
at the time that it was imported.
Absolutely.
In the first case, it was $1 to 12.806 for Ghana cedis.
Yes.
It gives you the date of receipt, the date customs assessment was done.
Yes.
And then it gives you the value in the national currency and the tax that was paid at the time. So you will know for this particular, these are quite recent. This was 27th of May 2024.
Yes.
They had paid 166, 140 days. If you want to have details of it, all you need to do is to click on it.
Okay.
It gives you the details of it. Let me minimize this one. So it gives you the details.
Yes.
It gives you the trim, the model, the number of passengers, if it's a passenger type, gives you the home delivery value, the color, the commodity code, the description, currency, engine, all the details.
Yes.
That is so required. Then you notice there are 2 types. Type 1 is the details of the vehicle.
Yes.
Type 2 is that for the taxes.
Right.
So you go to type 2 and then it gives you the taxes that were paid or applicable for this particular vehicle at the time.
Right.
So a breakdown of 166.164.28, as you would have seen it over here. So this gives you
what you mentioned is the figure that the developer paid. For
yes, exactly.
166,000.
166,000 Ghana cedis. Yes.
Okay.
Ghana cedis.
Okay, for the 2018 X5 model.
For 2018, BMW. Yes, X5.
All right, so what I noticed is that sometimes when you get there and then it gives you the final figures, even though it's, you enter a particular year and the model, it comes, and you still see differences. There are some that are higher and there are some that are lower. What accounts for that? Is it the features?
Exactly, so the trim. So you notice the variations is in the trim.
Right.
The details of the vehicle, as you mentioned, special features.
Yes, exactly.
Special features has a lot to do with affect the value. Okay. It could be the one that has a sunroof, the one that has not got a sunroof. It could be the one that has got an alloy rim or not an alloy rim. It could. So there are a lot of additional features or add-ons that would have an impact on the value. So most likely, if you get that one, look for the trim. You see the details in there, or the differences in there. So this is basically what you can do to have an idea, is to have an idea how much tax you're likely to pay if you're importing a BMW, this and this, of this type.
Okay.
Somebody had brought it, and this was how much the person had paid.
Right.
And this was our assessment of it.
Right.
So it gives you an idea. And it's for any other one that we have over 100,000, hundreds of thousands of vehicles that have earlier been imported, and the record is available for you to be able to search from.
All right.
So this is the case for used vehicles as well, and that of general goods.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Please take your seat. I think that we've been able to clear that. So it's a simple process. For you, the one that doesn't know or don't want it cumbersome, you just go to you just go to the GRA website. Once you go to the GRA website, you go to gra.gov.gh, and once you get there, you go to the tax calculator. And once you get to the tax calculator, you go to the general goods duty calculator, and then you can do that. Or if you are rather bringing in a used vehicle, then you go to the used vehicle duty calculator, and you'll be able to follow the prompts and then access how much you are likely to pay with the kind of vehicle that you are bringing. Remember, when you get to the used vehicle duty calculator, it will tell you it will ask you to tell you the make. To tell them the make, the model, and the year of manufacture of that particular vehicle, and then you'll be able to, find out how much you are supposed to pay. A rough idea in terms of duty. I think at this juncture, I would thank you so much for lecturing us tonight, and we'll go for a quick break. When we return, we'll activate the phone lines for you to call in. We'll also share some of your messages that you've sent that have come through. Please stay with us.
Ohima, maybe I take a number first. But you tell me say take the number give me.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, feel me talking about what? Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Ron 95.
Blow up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mommy.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good energy. Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. Remember, tonight we are taking a look at duty calculations, all you need to know, and we've dealt with the duty calculation on general goods and duty calculations on used vehicles. With us in the studios, Mr. Smal Agbemenu, Chief Revenue Officer, Customs Division, Ghana Revenue Authority, with the Policy and Programs Department, and he just demonstrated to us how you can easily, calculate your duties and have a fair idea as to how much you're supposed to be paying for particular goods or a particular vehicle that you have imported into the country. And we're going straight to your inbox to share some of the messages that you brought in. I would also gladly announce that our phone lines are activated. You can call in and contribute to the discussion. Remember, the number to dial is 020-552-8353, 020-552-8353. This one says, good evening. Please, I joined late. I want to know the name of the website for the car clearing. That's duty. It's not clearing, it's duty calculation. And if you want to calculate and have a fair idea as to how much you're going to pay, or even if your freight forwarder or a clearing agent clears your car for you and tells you that this is how much duty was exacted on the car, and you want to ascertain the truth, all you need to do is to go to external.unipass.com.gh. But if you are finding that one difficult, all you need to do is to go to go to the website, the net, and type GRA website. Now it pops up, and then you go to gra.gov.gh. It shows up. You go to, you search, you scroll up, you go to tax calculator. We have tax calculator, we have general duty calculator, we have the used vehicle calculator, and the one that's of interest to you is the one that you would use. With a particular reference to the used vehicle duty calculator, once you get there, it will tell you to tell them the make, the model, and the year of the car, and then once you do that, you search, you would see how much duty was paid on the vehicle that was cleared for you. And so that's it for you. You didn't add your name. This one says, Happy Father's Day to all of you. Please, we need the calculations of outer covers for ties. Outer covers for ties. Well, I think that you can also do it. Just follow the steps. Get there. Maybe you need to go to general goods, and then you are going to be able to find it and then deal with it. We don't have enough time, and so we can't delve into it. But it's a pretty much simple process that you can follow. Someone says, good evening, I am Port. I would like to request that my friend Smile in the studio clarify a discrepancy. Now, the Ghana Regional Authority claims that duties and taxes in Ghana are not calculated in foreign currency. However, in his recent demonstration, Smile selected FCY, that's a foreign currency yard, and used US dollars to calculate duties and taxes. This seems to contradict the GRA's claim. Can Smile explain why he used dollars for calculation despite the GRA's assertion that foreign currency is not used for duties and taxes in Ghana? This one is for men. So I think that is Filippo, our own Filippo, the vice president of ACHAC. I guess that's him. So yeah, there you go. It's from Philip. What do you have to say?
Good evening to Philip. Of course, that I did. If you look again at the provisions of the law, you have section 69 deals with converting the amount using the Bank of Ghana prevailing rate. So one of the things that we have all agreed to is that when you are buying goods in a foreign country, they are not pricing it in Ghana cedis.
Yes.
It therefore means that the your invoice that you'll be presenting to GRA is an invoice that is not a Ghana cedi denominated invoice.
Yes.
That is what we call the trading currency.
Right.
So you traded the commodity in a currency, but that currency must be a convertible currency. Bank of Ghana is required to provide the rate of exchange for all these trading currencies. So the law makes provision. We don't do the computation of the duty and taxes when the value is in the traded currency or the foreign currency.
Yes.
But that currency amount must be converted
into the local currency
using the prevailing Bank of Ghana exchange rate into Ghana cedis.
All right. So if I like you mentioned in the case of the X5, like you mentioned in the case of the X5 BMW, which was $56,000 or so. Now, when it comes to Ghana, you convert that amount into Ghana cedis. All right.
By use of
because you can't obviously spend cedis in the US where you bought the car.
Exactly so.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I think we have Joshua on the line. He's calling us from Teshi. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Awesome. Please shoot.
Yeah, the program is a very educative one.
Thank you, sir.
A friend sent a television from Canada to me. It's a 55-inch television, but it's actually not working. That I will have to change the screen and some other stuff. But the agent is telling me I needed to pay 2,500 for that television before I could get it. And I was telling him, the tele is not working, so how come I have to pay that huge? So I don't know. Such things, how are we also able to go into the system and see the charges that, like, can we use this system to check and verify whether the 2,500 that the person is saying is the case?
Is the correct amount? Is that the fellow sent to a television?
Yes.
Which screen got cracked?
It's not working. Yeah, the screen got cracked.
And it's not working. And the agent that's supposed to clear, that must be a very big TV. He says you are supposed to pay how much? 25?
I have to pay 2,500.
2,500 for it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I don't know whether you can, I think you can access the duty fairly using the procedure that Mr. Agwemenu has walked us through, using the general goods duty calculator. If you go to the GRA website and the steps are pretty much simple. I enumerated them. You go to the GRA website and then you click on gra.gov.gh, and you scroll up a bit, you'll find the tax calculator, and then when you get to the tax calculator, then you find the general goods duty calculator. I think that's where your interest is. And so you stick there and scroll up, you'll find a way around it and enter the television, and then I'm sure you'll be able to exact how much duty you're supposed to pay if Mr. Agwemenu would like to provide some additional response.
Yes, good. So that is one. Again, it will be difficult for us to determine at what stage the screen actually got broken. It could be at the stage of transporting it from when it has been cleared from our custody to when it was being delivered to him, or whichever the stage is. That it will be difficult for us to determine. Once you have presented it in that particular form, that is what we'll be doing the assessment of. If it is a case where you want to return the television because it is no longer fit for purpose, there is a provision for a refund. But if you want to know how much you have paid or whether the item was actually cleared, I'm sure the agent would have given to him a customs declaration document.
Right.
The customs declaration document has on it certain information. One, regarding the details of the item and the taxes and duties that was paid. So if he wants to verify or he wants to authenticate that document, he could go to the external.unipasghana.com.gh website, and then there is a search for, depending on the information you have, whether you have a bill of entry, that's a bill number, which is an 11-digit number at the top right area of the document.
Yes.
You go there, that 11-digit number, you click on the BOE button, and then you input that number, run a search.
Right.
It will return details of that particular transaction. Or if you have the bill of lading number or airway bill number, again, go to the same place. When you go to the external.unipasghana.com page, at the top area of it, you see where you want to track your cargo.
Yes.
You will see the track options, bill of lading, you see BOE number, you see cargo reference number, that's a CRN. You see some options for you to use to track.
Right.
The one that is available to you, use that one and track, and you should be able to track and know what exactly transpired on your transaction.
All right.
But of course, you must demand that document. That document is a document that we have assessed and have issued, which covers the particular transaction.
Right.
It contains your details, including how much tax you have paid as well.
Right. Okay. So that's some response for you, Joshua, who called us from Tema, from Teshi. I understand we have Joseph on the line from Abosukai. Joseph, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Please shoot.
Yeah, my name is James from Abosukai.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a little question to ask. It's about, please, whenever and when an agent calculates an duty for you, is it possible that maybe when the duty is higher, when you pay the duty at bank yourself, can the agent do anything like reducing the price again and take some of the money, because I want to know, because sometimes I'm the one that send message that they should calculate the duty of outer covers for us.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because sometimes when I remember this year, I import an outer covers from Czech Republic.
Right.
I paid duty over the duty and tax, everything. I paid almost 52,000 Ghana cedi. But the next one, when I directed to Takoradi, I paid 30-something thousand. So I want to know what is the difference between Tema and Takoradi. Why we always pay those duties? Is it that there is some mix-up somewhere or something? Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joseph. We are grateful for your call. Yes, if you want to provide some response.
So if I get Joseph, one of the things that we want to advise is when you are completing or you are acquiring your tax identification number, which now for individuals is the Ghana card, you provide certain information, including one, your mobile phone number. If it is a valid mobile phone number, or if it is a corporate body, again, you provide a mobile phone number. When we do assessment, we are able to send an SMS to that contact number. So in the case of Joseph, if your mobile phone number is correct on your Ghana card or the company tax identification number, you are supposed to receive details of these transactions. One key one is the bill of entry number, which is the declaration number.
Yes.
You can always use that one to do verification on your own.
Okay.
2, we encourage that the agent does only the documentation processing for you.
Right.
When they are done with that, they should give you the tax bill that would have generated. Do the payment by yourself.
Right.
Once you have the tax bill, go to any of our participating banks. Now, all the commercial banks, 23 or so commercial banks that we have, they are all able to receive customs duty and taxes.
Right.
When you present that tax bill, once you do that, then the agent will not have an opportunity. In the case that he is thinking the agent may reduce the tax amount, which would not be possible, but just that for him to clear his thoughts on that one, he should be the one to do the payment. You can pay in the comfort of your home because, again, you can initiate the payment through the Ghana.gov platform, which connects to your bank and is able to deduct or debit your bank account and then credit that of GRE. Whilst you do that one by use of your mobile phone or whichever one. So you can do the payment.
Yourself.
Every port payment, you should insist that you do them by yourself. The charges at the port, they generate invoices to cover them.
Absolutely.
Take the details and do the payment by yourself. Okay. You have control over how much you are paying to the authorities. And then you only pay the agent's fee.
Okay.
And then that is all.
Awesome. All right, from Michelle Camp, let's welcome Edmond. Good evening, sir. Hello, good evening. Yes, sir. Please shoot.
Yes, and I was listening to your discussion, and if I heard our officer right, the duty is calculated based on the invoice, and they use the country where the invoice is coming from currency.
Yes.
So what if I'm buying a car from Togo or Nigeria?
From Togo or Nigeria?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Sure.
So
thank you.
Togo. So for the case of Nigeria, they'll use the naira.
Yeah.
We admit using that currency.
Right.
For Togo, we use the CFA. Again, we admit. But again, for the case of used motor vehicles, I did mention that it is not how much you have bought the goods in these third-party countries.
Right.
These third countries. It is how much that vehicle was sold in the home country when it was for use in that country.
Right.
That is the value we are looking for, which you may not provide us from when you have bought it in Togo.
Right.
So we have access to that database, and we are able to pick that home delivery value and use.
Okay. All right. So we will still do some messages, and Ohima sent in one. She says, good evening, I am Port. It's been quite insightful. Kudos to Smile. A special happy Father's Day to you, Ken, and Smile. Thank you very much, Ohima. One of our regular texters, Pauline Brokwa, give. She says, on the currency bit as raised by Philip, contrary to GRA's defense, duties are foreign currency denominated. Now, Ken, do you know that if you are exporting from Ghana, your invoice is not allowed to be in Ghana cedis? Sometimes I wonder how they expect the PAPs to work.
When you are importing,
when you are exporting,
yes,
when you are exporting from Ghana, your invoice is not allowed to be in Ghana cedis.
Okay. Let's look at convertible currencies. I think that is where the issue is coming from.
Right.
Any person who is in doubt should just make an inquiry. Just go to any of the. I think there are a lot of websites that are going into e-commerce now.
Yeah.
Check to see if you want to import into Ghana, which currencies are tradable.
Right.
We know Ghana is not an internationally tradable currency. So if you want to buy goods from outside the country, you have to buy it in an internationally tradable currency.
Yes.
And we can't prevent you from doing that type of trading. But it is when you bring it into Ghana that Bank of Ghana is able to provide us with the rate of conversion.
Okay.
To convert that currency amount from whichever currency it was into Ghana cedi for us to begin calculating taxes.
Right.
Again, if you are exporting from Ghana, you'll notice that you are raising an invoice to somebody, let's say in the US, to transfer money for that commodity you are selling to the person. You are very likely to trade that in dollars.
Right.
But it is an internationally tradable currency. So it is both ways.
Right.
But before we apply duty and taxes, it must be converted into Ghana cedis because it is a legal requirement.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So we don't calculate the tax itself on any tradable currency except when it is converted into Ghana cedis.
Okay. All right. So this one says, hello, I am Port. A very needed discussion there. Kudos and happy Father's Day to you all. Now, Mr. Agwemenu keeps mentioning these words, specific and ad valorem. Can he please throw more light on that, please? And this one is from Felicia in Tema. Specific, ad valorem.
Okay. Our tax that we collect are three types, coming from two basic ones.
Yes.
Either it is ad valorem, which is a proportion, a percentage of the value.
Yes.
So in this particular case, the value is important because we are applying a rate of duty which is a proportion of that value, which is a percentage of that value. And I mentioned it could be, case of import duty, it could be 0% of that value, means you are not paying anything. It could be a 5% of that value, 10%, 20%, 35%. That is ad valorem. That is percentage of, that is a proportion of the value.
Yeah.
But when it is specific, then we do not care the qualities. We don't care of anything about the goods. The value does not matter. We are looking, for example, if it is this bottled water, we want to know for this bottled water, if it is a specific tax, then per liter, the government will say for every liter of this water, apply an amount of 5 Ghana cedis. That is specific.
Right.
It is not a proportion or a percentage of the value.
Right.
So when we say charge this amount for every liter of the water, the bottled water, then we are referring to it when it is specific.
Right.
There are cases where we do a combination of the two. We say for this commodity, let us apply both a proportion on the value and letters a specific amount on the quantity of it. That is the difference. So one deals with the attributes of the item, the other one deals with the value of the item.
Okay. All right. So this one comes in from Nana Albert in Sunyani. He's trying to find out. He says, how come that sometimes duties are paid here on goods, maybe even transit goods are paid here in Tema, and then when they get to Kumasi, they are stopped by customs officials who tells them that they didn't pay the right duties, and so they must pay more, and they exact those duties from there.
Okay.
What accounts for that?
For the case of transit, the duties are actually not paid.
Okay.
So you only provide a form of security to cover the duty which you have not paid. Because the transit goods will not be interfered with whilst it goes from the port which it has arrived at through the use of our corridor to the exit point for exportation out of Ghana. So because it is not consumed in the country or it's not for consumption in Ghana, tax is not charged. The other case which you may be referring to is a case of when you receive an intelligence. I mentioned if you look at Section 3 of our Act, requires that we apply risk in managing customs business. Now, it therefore means that there are cases where we may not exert enough customs control on a consignment because we want to facilitate trade. So we allow it to go. It could be based on intelligence that what we have allowed to go, there was some additional information that we were not privy to, which would have actually turned the decision we have made from just easily allowing it to go to provide some additional control on. In that case, there are the cases where you receive an intelligence. Since it is possible it is going into free circulation, wherever you have received the intelligence the cargo is, you actually impound the cargo for additional check on it. And we are also guided by the law in doing so. One, the law allows us to do so. And we are also mindful that whilst we do it, we do not frustrate the client. So if it's a self-declaration, so once you yourself, you have properly self-declared, trust me, you will not be subjected to any of these at all.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Smile Agwemenu, Chief Revenue Officer, Customs Division, Ghana Revenue Authority. He's with the Policy and Programs Department of the Ghana Revenue Authority. He's been discussing the duty calculation, all that you need to know, and we dealt with general goods duty calculation and indeed used vehicle duty calculation. We are glad that some other time we shall be having him again. We'd like to say big thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Revenue Authority, Guel PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. And we also like to say big thanks to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority who have always powered this show. We entreat you to watch the abridged version of Iron Port on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television. God willing, next week we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. My name is Kennedy Mona. I will say big thanks to you, Mr. Agwemenu, and God bless you for coming. And we'll see you next week. Have a blessed week ahead. Good evening.